Welcome back to Bucs Bounty. As you can tell, I've been straining very hard thinking about next year's season, but I'm going to go way back into the past when I played my favorite dude to catch of all time, Jeff Karstens. Welcome to Bucs Bounty. We've been trying to make this happen. I'm so excited. How are you doing, sir?
Fort, thanks for having me on, man. It was obviously great to play with you, and even greater to be on here with you. Things are going great.
Good.
In the thick of it with a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, but I'm surviving. We're thriving. My wife's working upstairs, and she's got the monitor for right now, and I'm here with you.
And you got a beautiful beard, dude. It's nice. And you got the sick
And
Pirates hat on, one of my favorite ones, the gray and black. I like it.
oh yeah, this didn't come in until really late. When I was at the Yankees, we had that facial hair policy, and I still remember to this day having to shave a little bit of peach fuzz that I had right here on the top of my lip before one of the short season games, and I was like, "Damn, I'm just never gonna grow a beard." And then over time, it just kind of gradually grew in. Took some time, but I'm happy with it.
I love it. I love it. So, Carson, we're going to get a little bit into your past and then get to some really, really cool stuff that we have in store for you. But just talk about growing up in San Diego, your high school, um, being a dual sport athlete, when pitching really, I guess, shine the light that you are going to be more of a pitcher than maybe a position player, or man, you could have been the first Otani, the skinniest Otani of all time, Jeff Karstens. So yeah, just talk about, your childhood, your parents, who you want to thank, and just kind of how that journey began.
Well, childhood started obviously in San Diego. Weather's great,
Lucky.
so able to play sports year round, which is truly, you don't really understand how fortunate you are until you go to the Northeast or the East Coast, like Florida, where I'm at now, where it rains all the time during the summer. So some of those games get postponed so much. But just really grateful for my parents and all the travel they did, and even my siblings, my brother and sister. They weren't into sports very much, but they had to go to all the games that I had because I was the oldest one. So it just kind of worked out that way. Played t-ball when I was little. Quit because I was like, wait, they're gonna pitch to me now. I was like, ah, hell no, that's not for
Wait,
me.
were you
So then
scared of the
yeah,
ball?
I don't know what
That's
I was
great.
scared of. It had to be something because I was like, I don't want to hit. They're gonna pitch to me. Like I don't want to get hit. So then I got into basketball and bowling,
Did they throw the
and
ball at you in basketball? What are you thinking? It's just
that was the
bigger?
crazy part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basketball started a little bit later, but Bulls were really dominant growing up,
Yeah,
and
we,
it was
we grew up in that
halftime of
era.
one of the.
Yeah.
Oh
Hmm.
yeah, Jordan was fun. Um, the Bulls were at halftime. I believe they were playing the Suns in one of the finals, or maybe the Trailblazers. But my dad and I went to the park. I was 11 years old. Still remember to this day. And the middle school up the street from my house, we'd go shoot hoops. And then there were some kids practicing, and I was like, Dad, like, what are they doing? So we went over there, talked to them. I threw a baseball for them, and they're like, oh man, like we would like to have you on our team. And the coach couldn't
Mm.
do what he needed to do to get me on his team, so I was placed on another team, and kind of the rest is history.
So when you realized you could
I
throw the
grew up,
ball at somebody, you were good.
yes.
Yeah,
I
that's
knew
good. I
that
like that.
I
Yeah.
had we used to play a lot of street sports, so football in the street, baseball in the street, stickball in the backyard. So there was a lot
Mm.
of sports involved in my life early on. Just didn't
Yes.
really play organized sports as early as they are now, which is kind of crazy. Like seeing some of the kids that are like full on travel ball at 8, 9 years old when I wasn't even playing sports, and how intense some of the parents can be. I'm kind of thankful that my parents never were like that, and it didn't exist at that time.
Yeah, I
But
always
yeah,
say this,
so
and you correct me if I'm wrong. You're into coaching a lot. We'll get into that later, but like the kid will tell you, right? You don't have to push him. You don't have to tell him to do more. If a kid wants to do more, he's going to want to do more, right? Like he'll go out and play more
without a doubt,
sports, do more things. And I think parents just get so involved because it's maybe more about them and, being seen at the PTO
bingo.
meetings and those meetings and saying, "Ooh, look what little Timmy did last night. He had a double in the
Hmm.
gap off of Larry Finkel." And the reality of it is, it only matters about that kid, right? So I love
Yeah.
that you said that because, like, a lot of parents that I deal with, I usually try to stay a little bit older where they can start to drive so they have their own opportunity to really just show
Yeah.
up. But yeah, I think it's a
Yeah.
disservice to the kid for sure.
Without a doubt. Then I got to high school, learned that stretching, bands, all that stuff was really important, stuff that I kind of neglected. early on in my career, so I paid
Was
for
that
it
was
with
that relevant early on in your career though? I didn't know what a band was until I got to eighth, ninth grade, like
there was
kind of
some
same age.
stuff as far as like arm exercise stuff that we would do. A lot of it was like ball weight stuff, so like just
Yeah,
circles and stuff, and you're like, wow, three baseballs is kind of heavy once you start doing a ton of reps.
yeah.
Um, and then in high school, played shortstop my sophomore year on varsity, and I was like, wow, I
Stop.
made varsity as a sophomore, but I sat 20 games and started maybe like 12. So being very realistic, like I did sit the bench, but I didn't run to go find a starting job somewhere else. I found a position on the field the next year in the outfield, and because I played shortstop, and I found that the shortstop the following year was way better than me, and I wasn't scared to say that. And I was like, all right, I need to play another position. This guy's obviously going to make our
Say that
team better
again.
here, and I need to move.
This is going to build a narrative of who you are. So sophomore year, you start, 20
So
plus
at shortstop.
games at shortstop. You had enough self awareness to say, you know what, I'm probably not going to be the starting shortstop. I want to play more. So did you go
hmm
take reps in the outfield? What did you do
I
to
moved
prepare for
directly to
that?
the outfield.
Yeah. So
Just
that's the
kind of
thing is like,
winged it.
what? Yeah, but that's not
I just wanted to be
normal.
on the
What?
field. That's all I cared about.
Thank you. That's where I was getting
And
to.
I was a little bit of a baseball rat. Like I didn't
Hmm.
care what it was. At 11 years old, I went to like 60 Padres games. It was back when parents used to be able to drop you off, $5 bleacher seat in right field to watch Tony Gwynn with the shiniest cleats ever, and then grab a hot dog and a drink. And literally, my parents would drop me off and pick me up. And my love for the game really, like, that's where it like blossomed. Watching Ben Davis, Joey Hamilton, Tony Gwynn, the team that went to the World Series and lost to the Yankees. I still think back to that pitch that Sterling Hitchcock didn't get. That was a strike. To this day, to Tino Martinez, I even asked Tino. I was like, "Dude, that was a strike." He's like, "Oh yeah, that was a strike."
Yeah,
But
our
yeah, just
Stephen Brault's twitching right now that he's missing an opportunity to talk about the Padres. He's like, I can feel them talking about it. He's literally driving to San Diego right now to be with family, so that's why he's not here. But
from
that's
Pittsburgh.
priceless. Huh?
Oh, that's a good drive. That's a good drive. If
No,
it's from
oh no,
Pittsburgh.
from Arizona,
Oh, okay.
Scottsdale.
That's a
Yeah,
lot more
easy drive.
doable. And
Yeah,
then
no doubt.
um, and then senior year, coach is like, "Hey man, catcher's like missing some balls. You think you can catch?"
I
I'm
knew it was
like,
coming. I knew it was
"Sure,
coming.
sure. Why not?" And headed to the library with my high school girlfriend. And my buddy calls me. He's like, "You just got drafted." And I was like, "Drafted to the military or like what are you talking about?" He's like, "No, the Expos drafted you as a catcher." And I'm like, "What?" So long story short, they came to see another kid that was really, really talented in our area. Kid by the name of Jacob Guzman, hit with like gardener gloves on. And it was the first time I ever seen somebody with like not
Oh,
batting gloves,
legend.
like gardener gloves. Like I was like, oh wow, like big, strong kid. But I did some stuff on the field, throwing, running the bases hard, knowing the game that really like I guess caught the scout's eye. And then for me, him drafting me caught my eye that maybe I could go change my why, right? My why in high school was like, I just want to play, I want to be a part of a team. Got drafted. I was like, well, wow, maybe my why can be I pay for my college, my parents save some money, and then I got a scholarship to Texas Tech after 2 years of JUCO, which was great for me because of the
What
ability
JUCO?
to go learn Grossmont Junior College in Oklahoma.
Okay.
Swear to God, our coach would give signs, hit the ball out of the yard, literally point to the fence. Never seen a coach say it. Old man,
Yeah,
Ed Olson,
affirm it,
still to
man.
this
You got to
day.
affirm it.
Oh yeah, and if you didn't throw fastballs up and in or breaking balls in the dirt 0-2, you would hear it from the dugout. And you
Yes.
like it was the most intense yelling that like I was like I can play for anybody. Like this is no joke on the bench. Reliever comes in, first pitch ball, and he said, "I thought you said this guy was effing ready." And I was like, "What?" That was like that was the first pitch he threw. And yeah, he demanded perfection. During IO, pulling guys off the field. Like if we were short hopping our own teams, like get off the field. You're making it hard on ourselves. Let's just go. Get off the field. And I was like, wow,
Wow.
this guy is like
Old school.
hardcore, old school. But he produced Marcus Giles, a kid by the name of Fernando Cortez, who was ambidextrous, played with the Rays. Very like probably one of the more talented people I've ever came across in my entire life. Football,
Mm.
basketball, baseball, just really, really talented individual. But
Marcus
then
was one
yeah,
of
I
those
ended up
guys
at
I looked
Texas
up
Tech.
to. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'll never forget
he
him
was a
putting
gamer back in the day.
soccer shin guards on in camp, my first big league camp, to get ready to go play. And I'm like, what is he doing? And he goes, Mac, they're going to come into me, man. I'm the little guy. They're going to try to flip me. When they try to flip me, they're going to hit this iron in my shin. No chance they try it again. I'm like, oh, because they weren't like just
Yeah.
plastic. They were like custom made, and they looked like they were
Oh,
like
okay.
tungsten. Like he looked like a superhero. It's like, dude,
Back when,
I loved
yeah,
you. Now I really love you. This is incredible. It's
back
so
when they used to
cool.
be able to run over the second baseman.
Oh yeah, and sure enough, he got destroyed that day because I'm just there to catch bullpens. First big league camp, that's all you do. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, he was
Yeah.
right. He got destroyed, and he just jumped up and looked at him. I'm like, this is great. This is
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
What a wiry cat.
Yeah. So,
So
end up at Texas Tech,
hold
get
on,
drafted by
I
the
want to
Yankees.
reverse just a little bit. You have not talked
Yep.
about pitching. You've talked about shortstop, outfield, catching, and anybody that's watching this is probably a Bucco fan and knows Jeff Karstens
Hmm.
pitched in the big league. So when did pitching start? When did you see that light come to be? And how did the catching element help you kind of understand, pitching the way you do? Because we're going to get into probably the weeds at
Hmm.
some point about the Pirates,
Hmm.
about game planning and stuff, because it was some of my favorite things with you. So just take it from there and just talk about that transition into that being a pitcher full time.
Well, that's the thing is when I was a senior, I thought I pitched still. I led the county in complete games in San Diego, which San Diego County, we had 4 first round picks my senior year of high school. Not my high school, but um, Adrian Gonzalez, Scott Hurd, Matt Wheatland, and a kid by the name of Sean Boyd. I think he was a
Wow.
supplemental pick. So maybe three first rounders and then a sandwich pick.
Still counts.
Um, yeah. And I was like, maybe I can pitch a little bit. And then I went to junior college, and this guy, Ed Olson, took a summer hitting class, couldn't wear batting gloves. And he's like, you're going to pitch and you're going to catch. I never had to bring catcher's gear to another practice another day in my life because I very, very realistic, was still real thin. And the starting catcher was better than me. And the catchers that were behind him were better than me. So I was like, why? Like, one, how did I get drafted? And two, like, I think my path is pitching. So then I ended up pitching, and just really my senior year, I had a little fastball, 84, and a little cutter that would just get ground balls to shortstop. And over time, stuff just kind of evolved in junior college. You kind of learn how to pitch, you watch other guys pitch. You can't just think you're just going to grab a ball and just go throw. There's a lot of like fine intricacies to developing pitching and your mechanics. I think my mechanics were really poor when I was a Major League Baseball player. Had I had what I had now, I probably would have sat maybe a few miles an hour harder because I thought I did have a good arm. I just didn't use my body well.
Agreed.
But yeah,
But that's
learned how to
hindsight,
really, really
right?
pitch.
That's
Oh
hindsight.
yeah.
You get to
And
go
having
back
the
and look at
ability
it.
to yeah, just having the ability to be honest with myself, the
Yeah.
self-reflection of just being able to be like, all right, like, what are you trying to accomplish? And as myself, as a pitcher, I kind of had to learn that the hard way. Had some success early on, and then struggled. Got traded to Pittsburgh. Had success immediately early on, and then struggled the rest of that year in '08. And then just kind of tinkered with things. Watched Paul Maholm, Zach Duke. Just became a big fan of Ray Searage. Like
Yeah.
to this
Yeah.
day, I owe him so much. He's like my, I love him to death.
Yeah. He's the best.
No one destroys a baseball like Oneil Cruz.
That is the hardest hit ball in known Major League history.
Pitchers should consider themselves warned.
And it is gone! There's a Cruz missile!
Log in with your cable provider and stream the Pirates all season long on SNP 360.
I want to go back to, so you're in junior college, Texas Tech.
Hmm.
Why Texas Tech? Were they one of the few that's out of San Diego? You've done everything in California. What was the thought there? Did you feel like you needed to get out to grow up, or was that the only opportunity to pitch? It's a really good school, and you put up good numbers: 6-5, 3.65 ERA, 14 starts, 83 Ks, and only 24 walks. I mean, that's Big 12 conference. This
Yeah.
anybody would want that guy at their school, but did they want you before you got there, or were they just one of those teams that
Um,
like see something?
So it's funny how it all works out. After my freshman year of junior college, I signed my letter of intent to go to San Diego State. Um, First day of class popped up and I got wet feet and I said I'm going back to junior college. Kind of pissed some people off at the San Diego State. Still sorry for that. Rusty Filter, the pitching coach.
But good for
But
you. Really good for you, man. Because
yeah,
like nowadays, if you don't choose what you feel comfortable with and have a good self
mhm,
evaluation, you could be out of the game and could have been a first rounder. The same
yeah,
time you're getting out because you're not playing, you're getting forgotten, and it's sad. So good for
yes,
you.
yeah. Following year, um, all my teammates are kind of getting offers in the fall, and I'm kind of like falling back in the pack. And I'm like, damn, I'm still pitching well, just not getting the looks. Um,
What do you
Season's
think that
going. I
was?
throw over, just wasn't as developed as I needed to be, wasn't as physical as I needed to be, especially for a D1. Like knowing what I know now, the physicality of the sport and the grind of the year and how the body breaks down, like you really got to be in the gym grinding, weight's got to be good. Like there's a lot of factors that factored in, and the reality was I probably wasn't ready. But I threw really well over spring break, complete game, 10 strikeouts. All of a sudden, Gonzaga, Washington State, UC Riverside, San Diego State again, Texas Tech. And I went on only one official visit. I was going to go to all the other places, went to Texas Tech, fell in love, and told Washington State, which was a hard conversation as a high school kid to have or a college kid to have, like, hey, like, I'm accepting an offer elsewhere. I'm not actually going to go on a visit there. And they're like, well, just come see it. And I'm like, no, I
Mhm.
feel like my heart's in the right spot. And
Yep.
my junior college coach did tell me one thing. He's like, what are you going to do that's different for the scouts in San Diego that you didn't do last year? I think he's like, I think you need to go have another set of random eyes, maybe look at you and maybe see something. And one of the biggest pieces of advice to help my baseball career was like
Dude, have you thanked
leaving the
him?
state of California. He passed away, but I did go back and I thanked him and he apologized
Good
for
for
taking me out
you.
of the game after throwing 137 pitches. And I didn't even throw a CG. He took me out after 8 innings in the state playoffs. And he's like, I should have left you in. I was like, Skip, I had 137 pitches. What do you mean you should have left me in? I was like, you should have took me out after seven.
Yeah, I just pitched a double
But
header, dude. I'm good.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then
but that advice that you just gave every kid, I want to just like tell them is like, I know you want to be home, but if you're able to, like, take those visits outside because you're exactly right. You get a
mhm,
different set of eyes, and there's something important to that. Like, I'm doing a lot with USA Baseball, and I'm watching these kids bounce around. I'm like, why are they doing that? And then it hit me one day, dude. Every time I go somewhere different, I'm meeting new people that I've never met. It's the regional scout in Texas. It's the guy from California that happens to be in because he's on a special assignment. And you're like, huh, that makes way too much sense. So that right there is invaluable advice for parents, kids, everything else. Get outside the norm. And then also you get to figure
yes.
out how you stack up, right?
Yes. And that's, I think, was how you stack up. But how you look at that is so, so important. If you can look in the mirror and have some honest self-reflection, like I need to be better about this, I'm good at this. Not saying you have to just beat yourself up, but you have to recognize what you're good at and what you're not good at and know who you have to be with the good stuff and still be able to work on the stuff that you're not really good at. Because for
Yeah.
me, when I got to the big leagues, I didn't have a curveball at all. And the only reason I threw one was because I was too scared to shake Jorge Posada off when he was calling it. I was like, I told you fastball, slider, changeup before the game, and you're calling curveballs, so guess I'm throwing a curveball today. But by
What?
the end of my career, it was one of my best pitches.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt about
So it's
that.
just
No
one of
doubt
those
about that.
things, yeah. So you just kind of like learn, and if you don't learn, you kind of get left behind. That's why they always say chess, not checkers.
There's no question about that you played chess all the time when you're playing. So you get drafted after your junior year, I'm assuming, in 2003,
Yes,
and
yes.
19th round to the Yankees. You make your debut August 26th, 22nd, 2006 against Seattle, which is great because they're playing in the playoffs. That's kind of the time frame we're talking right now. But talk about that journey through the big leagues. That's pretty fast, relatively
Um,
speaking, back in the day.
yeah, drafted '03, made debut '06. April of '06, I'm 0-5 through I believe 7 starts with like a 9+ ERA.
And where are you?
I have I'm in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay. And that was what? High A,
Cemetery.
double A?
That was AAA with the Yankees. That was my first year on the 40 man.
Wow, that was fast. Yeah. Okay.
So threw well. First year, second year, had a little bit of a sore arm, and they held me back after spring training. And they're like, actually, you're going to go to high A. You're not going to go to low A. Threw well, and actually never had to go to low A, and all because of a sore arm. So basically, a whole year of development, like I was able to skip just by luck. I would say by luck, by chance. It just happened to like work out through really well. Somebody high up in the front office contacted me. He's like, "Do you have an agent?" And I was like, "No." And I went to eat with this guy called at Mom's Place on Del Mabry, right up the road from Steinbrenner. A place that was like cash only. You could go eat there for literally $15. It
Come
was
on.
like a hole in the wall, but there's a bunch of Yankee pictures on the wall. But yeah, it was just one of those things where I was just really fortunate that my path and the trajectory I had, like guys were moved up before me, but then like kind of struggled and didn't have success, and I was still kind of like pitching and trying to do well and pitching well. But yeah, that year in 06, it was a grind. 06, I thought about quitting, thought about am I good enough? I thought about everything that you could possibly think of as a baseball player crossed my mind. I was like, should I just hang
Prior
them
to
up?
get
Am I going
called
to
up?
get released? Yes. So
Wow.
we're about to leave on the road trip. I have my suitcase packed, and I get called in the coach's office before the road trip. He's like, "We're going to send you to Double A," and I felt like I had this 1,000-pound weight just fall off my body. I
Explain
was like, I
that.
actually get to.
Explain that, because I felt the same way my first year in AAA, my first year on the 40 man, and I digressed in every way. And people didn't really ask me why, but being able to reflect, like, dude, I was treated like crap. I played the worst games. I wasn't treated like I was on the 40 man. I was treated like a piece of meat, and I didn't know who I was, what I was trying to do. They were throwing me on the bench, not telling me why. And I get to find this out all later on of why. If they would have just told me, it would have changed everything for me. So I was always so anxious, didn't know if I wanted to play like anymore because it wasn't fun. The business side was killing me,
Yeah,
but nobody was explaining it.
yeah. I think for me, the weight was I'm trying to make adjustments. I'm trying to prove that I belong on the 40 man. I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
get to the big leagues.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to like do well for not only my team, my teammates, but everybody that supports me or is supporting me in the off season. So when I got sent down, I was like, I actually get to go to Double A where I've had success, work on some stuff, fix some kinks, and get the confidence back that I needed to have to be able to have success. And went down to Double A, didn't lose a game or didn't lose a decision, had like a 2 ERA. Get called back up to Triple A, don't lose a game or a decision, and have like a 1 ERA. And I'm still the same exact person. It's not like things drastically
You
changed, but
got to
between the
reset, right?
years,
Yeah.
yeah, between the years, mentally, I was a totally different person. The self-confidence was there. There wasn't self-doubt where like early in April it was like, oh, when's the bad inning gonna happen? When are you gonna like the bed? Sorry. Um, but like when are you gonna really like make the mistake and kind of fall into that trap? And after going down and coming back up, I had this renewed sense of like, wow, I can do this. And then I got called up, and yeah, the rest is kind of not history because I did struggle at times in the big leagues and really had to learn who I was there too. So the learning curve never stopped. Even to this day, it's like you're learning how to be a good coach, how to be a better parent. But if you stop learning, then you stop becoming a student. It's just nobody's ever a master, right?
Isn't that the
So I feel
truth?
like yeah. And Clint Hurdle says it all. I used to say, I'm sure you've heard it, but have that white belt mentality
Yep.
where like you just
Yep.
got to be hungry to learn. And but yeah, so the struggle of the AAA grind and everything was really really tough.
Well,
But
there's no
something
way to
that I think
really prepare for it, right? Like they throw you there and they're
mhm,
like, good luck. And it's like, you don't realize you're there with guys, 4 years of big league service time and you're competing with them. You're on the roster. And then all of a sudden you're like, they're not playing for the team. They're putting me in bad situations. Like, this is crazy. What is happening? And then all of a sudden you're like, all right,
oh
deep
yeah,
breath, calm down. It's the same game. Don't let these outside factors even be a part of this. just control what you can right in front of you. And you're right. Learn from it and grow from it, because it's going to teach you something, especially later on, because every notch you have on that white belt, as Hurdle would say, is going to level you up.
Yeah.
And eventually, you may be a guy that could be a guru, but I teach kids all the time, be the guru of yourself. Don't worry about the game as much as you how do you respond to certain situations in the game. The IQ will come as things unfold. You fail and you learn. But if you can understand how you're going to respond to it and self-identify properly, and Kobe Bryant's notorious for saying this, embrace the emotion that's there and then take it in and say, okay, that's how I'm going to respond. What do I do with it? And I felt like you were one of the best on the planet at this. And it sounds like it's all building up from these last couple of years that you're talking about in AA and AAA.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. Finding who I needed to be, not who they wanted me to be or who I was trying to mimic or whatever. Perfect example, Charlie Morton.
100%.
When he was trying to be Roy Halladay, not that he was trying to be Roy Halladay, but when his mechanics were very, very similar, he was really good. Don't get me wrong. But when Charlie Morton became Charlie Morton and nobody else, he was like filthy.
Dominant. Yep.
And I'm so happy to see that because he was such a good individual. But it took him time to learn who he needed to be because he put up great numbers in AAA. When he got traded to Pittsburgh, he had a lot of talent, but your clock runs out in certain places and you move on, and sometimes the change of scenery helps you. And I think the scenery in Houston probably helped him the best because he had success in Atlanta a little bit, he had success in Pittsburgh. But when he went to Houston, he became Charlie Morton.
Completely agree.
For me, at least, as from the outside.
No, there's no question. They were able to articulate it to Charlie the way Charlie needed to have it articulated. He wanted depth. He wanted understanding. A 5-minute conversation is a 40-minute conversation, and I loved it. So, this guy wanted to understand the ins and outs to the seam height on a baseball. Some people learn like that. Some people want to know all that, and he can actually quantify it most days. So you teach those guys the way they need to be teachers. And that's the coolest part about Charlie is it did take time, but I bet he is a solidified wizard when it comes to pitching. And I'm talking not just himself, the entire realm, because he went through so much.
He got him, and he's done it again.
Welcome to Unobstructed Views.
We're at BP. We're going to get an inside look.
Once you start loving each other, you start fighting for each other.
Welcome to Coach's Corner. And he'll admire it, and so will we. Is that too much to ask for?
Oh, baby!
I want to go pitching in New York, man. You're talking about going to Posada. That guy's a legend. And he's telling you to throw a curveball. You started, you came out of the bullpen, you did a little bit of everything. Dude, what was that like? You're talking about San Diego kid, great weather. People are nice there. Other parts of California, but San Diego's an incredible spot. You go to New York, there's literally rats with a backpack of trash running down the street, and then you go 2 more blocks up and you see fine dining, fine clothing. And you're playing for the freaking Yankees, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig. You're talking about some of the best players of all time. You show up, played Old Yankee Stadium. What does that feel like, dude? It's one place I didn't get to play.
Honestly, surreal. It felt like the stadium. Now the stadiums kind of go out, and this one felt like on the mound, everything was like straight up. So like you feel like everybody's on top of you. The fans are intense. I still remember this day, Randy Johnson was supposed to make a start, and during the national anthem, I hear, "Karstens, you suck. Put Randy in." And in my head, I'm like, well, you're not wrong if you're comparing me to Randy Johnson. Like, yeah, I definitely not as good as that guy. But it was definitely a different place to play as a young California kid sitting in my locker right behind me. Jeter, A-Rod's around there somewhere. Sheffield's right next to me. And we had Roger Clemens, Andy Pettit.
Stop it.
It was like a childhood dream, Johnny Damon's over there telling you, like, if you need anything in my locker, take it. Like, all these guys are just top-notch individuals.
Do you have one or two stories about, because that's a lot of cheese. Like something quirky that you could tell the fans, or like, maybe A-Rod got a cow flown in and had that personal steak made there. I mean, that's how much money you're talking these guys have. I mean, those are Hall of Famers, or, guys that made $300-400 million in their career, and played forever. Right. So like even Roger Clemens, like rumor has it that he used to rub a little red hot down in his man region to get all buttered up and ready. Yep. So, dude, I'll let you take it away. You can take.
He used to be in a full-on sweat when he'd be out getting ready during we're in extended, because I got hurt, so I was down here rehabbing. He was like full-on workout before a start down here in Florida. I'm like, what the hell is this dude doing? Like, this is wild. But I would say,
by the way, I tried that, Karstens. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. I tried that. Not a good idea.
You need a lot of shaving cream. Cream.
I can't sit still anyways. No, I can't sit still anyways. That made me so jittery, bro. I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
And won't stop. It was like literally like 7 hours. Even after the game, you shower and it's worse. I don't even know what I did.
The water
day.
makes
probably had a good game.
Yeah, it's shaving cream. Got to use shaving cream if you have anything hot and medicated on your arm. That's cream.
Yeah, well,
But
that didn't work.
I would say the first time I really realized that I was like, this is different, is you get called up to New York, and we're not at home, so we're on the road. We're in Boston, so we're in Fenway. It's Yankees had 5 games in 4 days at Fenway. I think there's like a 1.5 game lead by the Yankees over the Red Sox, and the Yankees swept the series. Basically knocked the Red Sox out of the playoffs that year. But after one of the games, we're headed back to the hotel, and we're staying at the Ritz-Carlton. And I'm like, this is the top of the top hotels. Like, but we stop at a light, and Jeter, A-Rod, and I think Posada, and maybe one other guy got off because they weren't staying at our hotel because the security was so crazy. Like, people would literally try and sneak up onto the floors. When we played in Baltimore, there had to be like a security guard right off the elevator. Yeah, or just like crazy fans. You know how it can be. Like, some of those people just do whatever they got to do to get to to players or whatever. But yeah, in Baltimore, there'd be security guard on the floor so that like when everybody came off, like we had a whole floor, and they make sure that nothing kind of happened. But yeah, I'd say that Ritz-Carlton story, I was like, yeah, this is different. This isn't real life.
That's not real life. Yeah. They all probably had aliases as names.
They all did. Yes. Yeah. Jim Shorts. Jim Shorts. I could use my real name. Nobody was ever going to call my room, but yeah. I never got a room list. I wish I would have got one. Probably didn't have enough service time to earn a room list yet.
Yeah. You know what? I never thought to ask. I did use an alter ego a couple of times just for fun. But yeah, some of the things that like guys would come up with is priceless because, you're right. There are some crazies out there.
Yes.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Who's your favorite teammate in New York? Let's go position player and pitcher, and then one of the coaches. Because for fans out there, Karstens was one of the best at roaming and learning. So he would always find guys to go talk to, and it wasn't always necessarily the pitching staff. Obviously, he'd spend a lot of time. We had an incredible group when we were playing together, but you would spend time with, Kutch and Barmas and Barajas and anybody that would talk ball with you, you were kind of in. And then same thing with the coaching staff. Like, just like me, we took pride in 13 to be an extension of that coaching staff, see things that other guys couldn't, pour into guys, let guys just have our ear, because it's a really long and grindy season and good teammates matter. Yeah. So throw some love out there.
I mean, it's kind of generic to say, but on a position player standpoint, it's hard not to say Jeter. And it's not because of the player, it's because of the person. The amount of respect that he not only demanded from you, but gave you as well as an individual meant more than anything to me. Like in the off season, he lived in Tampa. We had the same trainer, and the conversations that he took his time out of his workout just to have a quick, brief conversation with me made me feel really important and a part of that team. And I mean, he's the Yankee of Yankees. If you ask me, in my time, obviously there's a lot of tradition. There's a lot of guys that I never played with that are really big Yankees. But for me, it was him. Being the captain just wasn't being the best player. It was being the leader as a person too. So for me, him top-notch individual all across the board. And then from the pitching standpoint, it was very, very brief, but Mike Mussina. Got
Oh,
to
please tell me
take a
more.
car ride with him. Yeah.
I've always heard great things
He
about
didn't
him.
really talk very much, but we would talk during PFPs and do all this stuff. And then one day, I'm piggybacking him in Kissimmee, and he goes to tell, I think Girardi, he's like, hey, I'm going to drive so I can leave right after I'm done. And Girardi goes, hey, just make sure you take somebody with you. And he goes up to me, he's like, hey, you're riding with me tomorrow. I'll be here at this time. And I'm like, okay, like, I guess I'm going to ride with you. And we literally had like a 45-minute hour ride to Kissimmee, and it was just picking his brain. And like, he was literally, I can still remember to this day that knuckle curveball he had that he could just place wherever he wanted, winning 20 games his final year.
Disgusting.
Just, yeah. And I think the crazy part is I don't know how much he really loved baseball. He was like a car enthusiast more than anything. So you
Really?
just find out that people have different passions, and the reason they play baseball isn't always just to play baseball. It's just, it's a way to make some good money, and I can do it that way. Why not do it that way as opposed to having a real job?
Yeah, you do what
Um,
you're good at to allow you to do the
yeah,
things that you love. And some
yeah.
people are able to do both, but it seemed like he loved the competitive nature of it all too. I'll never forget when he was yelling at Girardi. It's like, you stay in the dugout. And I'm going to say it lightly because
Yeah,
he said some words that we can't say on here, I don't think. But man,
yeah,
that fired me up, dude.
yeah.
I would have literally been yelling too at the head coach. I would have not even hesitated because you know how much I love you guys on the mound. That was
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
Watching Max Scherzer do that year in, year out and do it again last night. Dude, there's nothing
I
better.
know.
There's nothing better.
If I was Schneider, I might have turned around halfway and be like, all right, I'm not making it all the way out to the mound. He's good.
No
I'm just gonna let him
chance. I'm
go.
walking right back. How funny would that be?
And which eye do you look at? The blue eye or the brown eye? You know what I mean? Like, he's a different
Well,
individual.
one blue eye is the nice Max. The brown eye is the one that
Okay.
it'll start to turn a little black when he gets psycho. I remember
Okay.
seeing that in the fall league. When I was playing with him. I was like, well, that's not normal. That's changing colors. I'm going to go the other way. I'm just going to walk away.
Yeah.
He's good to walk away.
Did you see by chance, not to change subjects, but when he came in the dugout, how intense he was? He like kind of like shoved a coach was right there. I think it was maybe the first base coach. He was like, and no, everybody like kind of cleared out of the way. I was like, oh man, he's like intense on game day to where I was
Yeah.
like the total opposite. I was like, come talk to me. Like, I don't like that stuff.
Yeah. Well, so he's a guy that kind of puts on a cape. Some
Mhm.
guys kind of, I mean, AJ Burnett was very similar in the sense, not as intense, but the thought is like when he's everyday Max, he's a nice guy. He's funny. He's going to joke around. And then the start day comes or the bullpen, he also does the bullpen in full uniform.
Mhm.
He's just one of those guys. Everything he does, he has like precision. And when it comes to baseball, it's precision and psycho. And he puts that psycho
Mhm.
cap on and it goes. And he doesn't see guys like he'll bump somebody and has no clue. There's no way he has a clue. Like
Mhm.
even last night, he goes, ah, like he yells, I'm good. And then realizes he's yelling, I'm good. Because he's not even of his right mind. That's why this guy, if he wants to pitch
Yeah.
till he's 100, he can pitch till he's 100. Because he'll scare you
He's-
to death at times. Right?
Oh yeah. He's
It's
he
incredible.
was pretty good, tough to face, tough to bunt against.
Yeah, absolutely. One more question about New York, and then we'll transition into Pirate talk. I know that's what is going to be the best. It may even we've gone so long on this one. That one's going to be incredibly long. We may have to make this 2 different episodes all at the same time. But favorite place to eat, and what did you love about New York? Asking for a friend.
Um,
Me.
for me, it was Tao. Just because it was my first time experiencing it, and my agent,
Explain what Tao is.
who, um, it's like Asian fusion. They have one in Vegas. They have one
I
in New
knew
York.
it.
It's tough to come by a little bit, but the food's just phenomenal. I've gone there where my agent set it up with another player that he represented it, and we didn't get any menu. It was literally just like food came out, food came out, food came out. Oh, by the way, Mr. Rose took care of the bill. You guys are good to go. And I'm like, wait, what? But yeah, that's a whole nother topic too. My old agent was a minority owner of the Yankees.
What?
Yeah. He's the only one in baseball. I think it's 4% of the Yankees, maybe a little bit less. I'm not sure, but
Wow. Good for
yeah.
you,
So
Mr.
he was
Agent Guy.
very, very, very well connected in New York. So anytime anything needed to go down, he just wore his little Yankee ring, and we kind of get in places. Um,
Absolutely
but
love it.
yeah, I would say Tao, or like I don't even remember the name, but like an Italian spot, Upper East Side maybe, and the guy had like an Italian mob name, and I was like, whoa, this place is like legit, like probably been raided a few times. But yeah, definitely I would say just Tao, without a doubt, Tao.
Thank you for watching this episode of Bucs Bounty. That was part 1 of Jeff Karstens. And like Clint Hurdle said, Karsten knew who he was. He trusted his strengths and made hitters hit his game. Well, we just were in his game. He was spinning us around. Wait till you hear the second one. It is off the charts good. Don't want to miss it.
Day game on a Sunday. Correa and one other pitcher got an IV Friday and Saturday because it was miserably hot. The humidity in
That's
St.
right.
Louis was ridiculous. Um,
I forgot about that.
I knew my stuff was a little bit better that day because we struck out Beltran with
Mhm.
like a little Vulcan type changeup split. He looked up at the scoreboard, and I was like, he didn't pick up that pitch. He didn't
Mhm.
like, he was trying to figure out, he's like, what was that? Like, because everything else, my changeup was probably slower, and I think that split that I threw him was like 83, 84. I was like, all I ever wanted to do was throw your changeups. And as soon as I felt like you were trying to sit on it, I'd just sneak a fastball in a little bit and you'd get blown up. And he's like, yeah, I hated it. But you just kind of learn, like, the more you watch. And I think with the information available now, like swing miss percentage, walk rates, like you
It wouldn't be
find
fair
out
if you
who's really
pitched
good
right
with
now.
ball to
It
barrel.
wouldn't be
Yeah,
fair.
ball to barrel contact, who walks, and learning who takes pitches, who doesn't take pitches, and like where's my cheap outs at, like pitching around my lineup, and like how am I going to do that when game's in a hunch? Like who do I want to face if I have my choice? Like if it's between two guys and we're in the same that spot in the lineup, like do I want that guy or the guy after him? Seeing everything go full circle, not even being a part of the team, but being able to be there in Chicago with the team, clinch, and to this day, like game yesterday in LA, Milwaukee, I saw the umpire cam where hitter's eye was in the light, they were in the shade. We played St. Louis and we had the day game.
Mhm.
Game 4, day game, game 5, day game. And not to say that, maybe we would have lost the games at night too, but those shadows were so tough to deal with as players. And I knew that as a pitcher, and that's why the first 2 or 3 innings in Pittsburgh, I didn't care if we scored runs because I was like, yo, like the hitter's eye is lit up and you guys are in the shade. Like I need to take advantage of this as long as I possibly can. And
Yep.
hopefully everything's in the shade by the time we're up to bat and they're not.
Yep.
So hopefully we get the first crack at the playing field being completely fair because I knew that it was tough on the eye to pick up that ball. Um, but yeah, I think yeah, that season was it was a lot of things for me, but I think it all ended really well seeing that Cueto game. Like that to me is the best baseball game I've ever been a part of in my life.